For months, David's men protected Nabal's shepherds, guarding every flock, keeping raiders and thieves far from his estate. Nabal's servants lived in peace because of David, never losing a sheep, never facing danger while his men watched. When Nabal held a great feast, David sent messengers with honor, simply asking for food and kindness in return. David's message was humble. "We come in peace. Please give whatever you can spare to your servants." But Nabal sneered. Proud and foolish, he mocked David, questioning his honor and refusing even the smallest kindness.
Who is David? Should I give my food to a runaway rebel?
His words cut with open disrespect. Stunned, the messengers turned away, shamed by Nabal's cruelty after months of David's protection. They returned quickly, their hearts heavy, knowing David had been repaid with scorn instead of honor. When David heard the insult, his anger ignited. Rage he had held back for months now burning fiercely. David commanded 400 warriors to strap on their swords. This would no longer be a request, this was vengeance. Before chaos rose, the day began in quiet wealth, but beneath Nabal's roof a storm was forming, one Abigail hadn't yet seen. A startled servant rushed to Abigail, revealing Nabal's insult and the fury it provoked. Instantly, she understood the danger. She moved immediately, no panic, no hesitation, gathering enough provisions to calm an army before anger consumed them. Knowing David was marching with 400 warriors, Abigail rode out boldly, choosing peace over silent fear. David's rage burned hot, his men ready for vengeance. No one imagined that one woman's wisdom would halt an army. Abigail stepped down quietly and bowed low, her humility cutting through the heat of David's anger. She didn't defend Nabal's insult. She acknowledged the wrong, yet gently led David toward a wiser path. Even David's men felt the change. Her gentle courage began dissolving the violence building in their hearts. Her words pierced through David's anger, reminding him of the king he was becoming, not the destroyer he almost became. Abigail urged David to let God judge, not rage. Her discernment challenged him to rise above the impulse for revenge. Slowly, David's fury gave way to clarity. Abigail's courage reminded him of the leader he was chosen to become. She rose with grace, trusting that her words had reached him. Her discernment had already shifted the atmosphere. Even the warriors behind David felt the change. Abigail's wisdom was reshaping the entire moment. David blessed Abigail, recognizing her intervention as God's mercy, saving him from a violent mistake. Her wisdom stopped a massacre, preserved David's honor, and turned vengeance into reflective mercy. With the danger diffused, Abigail began her journey home, unaware of how deeply her actions had shaped David's heart. Meanwhile, Nabal feasted in drunken pride, never knowing his arrogance had nearly destroyed his entire household. Seeing his drunken state, Abigail waited. Her timing, like her wisdom, was precise and spirit-guided. At dawn, she told him everything. The truth struck him hard. His heart failed and fear seized him completely. Nabal's life slipped away days later. His foolishness had met its end, and the household breathed a quiet, sobering calm. When word reached David of Nabal's death, he recognized God's justice, clear, timely, and beyond human vengeance. David remembered Abigail's words, how she urged him toward restraint. Her wisdom had protected his destiny. David sent a messenger to Abigail, honoring her courage, her discernment, and the peace she fought to protect. The message honored her bravery, inviting her into a future shaped not by fear but by wisdom and divine favor. Abigail accepted the message with calm grace, stepping into a future marked by faith and inner strength. With calm dignity, Abigail prepared to leave her past behind, stepping toward a calling shaped by courage and divine wisdom. As she traveled, the valley ahead opened with promise, her decision marked by humility, strength, and God's quiet leading. David's men recognized her at once, the woman whose bravery had saved them from a stain no warrior wished to carry. David welcomed Abigail with deep respect, recognizing her wisdom as a rare and God-given gift in turbulent times.
Hey, if you've watched this far and enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more beautifully told stories of faith.
Her presence brought calm to David's camp, sealing a moment shaped by courage, foresight, and divine purpose. David honored Abigail with deep gratitude, recognizing her wisdom as a guiding light in a moment clouded by anger. Abigail's humility radiated strength, her calm presence bringing clarity to every word spoken in that sacred moment. David confessed how her intervention saved him from bloodshed, preserving his integrity as God's chosen leader. Abigail's presence carried peace, her discernment a shield that turned a violent path into a righteous testimony. She stepped into evening calm, her courage shaping a future built on wisdom, mercy, and God's faithful guidance. David watched her leave, knowing her wisdom had preserved his honor and aligned his steps with God's righteous path. Under the night sky, David reflected on the mercy God had shown, using one woman's voice to guard his destiny. A new morning brought quiet steps of peace. Abigail returned, welcomed with honor for the courage she had shown. Their meeting was gentle yet significant, two lives shaped by wisdom, humility, and God's unfolding plan. Abigail stepped into her future with grace, her wisdom carving a path of honor that would echo through generations. Every step forward reflected courage. Abigail walked with calm strength, her discernment marking her as a woman of true greatness. The guards stepped aside with honor. Abigail was no longer just a visitor, but a testimony of courage and divine wisdom. Her presence brought a quiet reverence, a living reminder that wisdom can change the course of any conflict. David honored Abigail again, recognizing the wisdom that spared his future and kept his hands free from innocent blood. In calm silence, Abigail embraced the future God had shaped, her life marked not by fear but by courage and holy discernment. She took a quiet moment alone, remembering all God had guided her through, each choice shaped by courage and discernment. David stood beside her, humbled and grateful. Her wisdom had become a mirror, revealing the leader God called him to be. Abigail's discernment didn't just save lives, it preserved destiny, showing how peace can triumph where anger demands control. Together they walked in peace, stepping into a chapter born from courage, one shaped by humility, honor, and God's faithful hand. In David's household, Abigail's strength shone brightly, her wisdom a living testimony of how God honors the peacemakers. Abigail's wisdom continued guiding the household, her presence bringing harmony, clarity, and peace in daily decisions. David sought her counsel often, her discernment becoming a steady compass for moments of tension or uncertainty. Her life testified to the power of discernment, how one wise decision can redirect the course of countless futures. David remembered the moment anger nearly consumed him, saved only because one woman chose courage over fear. Her life became a shining example, showing how peace, patience, and discernment can silence vengeance before it speaks. At day's end, Abigail reflected on all God had done, how wisdom turned danger into peace and preserved countless lives. David remembered the moment he nearly crossed a line, saved only because one woman spoke truth with grace and holy discernment. Her wisdom calls to us still, teaching that discernment can redirect anger, protect futures, and reflect the heart of God. Her story is preserved in 1 Samuel 25, a witness that God honors those who choose peace when anger demands revenge. Abigail reminds us that discernment is a shield. When anger rises, wisdom speaks peace, guiding us back to the path God designed.